Yes, hello, I'm Dr. Steven Greer, and I'm founder of the Disclosure Project, and this is a special announcement about a new campaign we are launching this week, and that is to end permanently the secrecy around UFOs and free energy devices. All of you are familiar with the work we did with Sirius, which became the top pick on Netflix in the past year. And I'd like to thank all of you for supporting that project. This project and the Disclosure Project launched in 2001 at the National Press Club are really focusing purely on top secret, unacknowledged special access projects that deal with the UFO, extraterrestrial, and free energy or zero-point energy fields. And what we're doing with this campaign is not just advocating for the government to do something. This is the campaign that will actually end the illegal secrecy. And what's key about the words here is that we are doing this, not the government. And I think you have to understand that the people are the government in a democracy. And our government has completely failed us on this and many other issues and is dysfunctional and corrupt. Therefore, it's incumbent on us, the people of the world, not just the United States, to come together to support this endeavor. We are now working with people from all over the world who have access to archives dealing with the UFO subject, government top secret witnesses, videos, photographs, and other material. And we are asking you, the public, to support this campaign. And you can go to our website, SiriusDisclosure.com, or to the other links you will see in this film to support it in a number of ways. But one of the chief distinctions I want to make between this and other disclosure efforts that are going on is that this is not an effort to ask anyone else to do it. This is a campaign where we, the people, actually do it. And we are therefore calling this the campaign that actually ends the illegal secrecy. Illegal is a key word here, and I want all the military, corporate, intelligence officials, government officials who know about the operations that deal with UFOs, advanced technologies such as zero-point anti-gravity, gravity control, and related subjects, that those projects, even though you may not be aware of it because you are in a compartment away from most of the other leadership of the organizations that manage them, are being run illegally. I will get more into this in a moment. What the public needs to understand is that the future of our civilization, not only in how we live on this planet and whether we have an environment and an biosphere, an ecosystem to live in, will be here, but also how we're going to live into the future and what our relationship will be with these interstellar civilizations is hanging in the balance. And so this isn't something that we can expect the next president or the next Congress or the next Parliament in England or whoever to deal with. Personally, I have been involved at that level since 1992, whether it be top generals at the Pentagon, the Clinton administration, the CIA director for President Clinton, etc. And what I have seen is that there is enormous interest in those corridors, but for the most part, they don't have access to these unacknowledged special access projects. Keyword, USAP. And since they don't, there's only so much that they can do. And so what we're doing is what perhaps they are either afraid to do, don't have the courage to do, perhaps get threatened when they try, or simply feel that it's too big for them to take on. One senator said to us, what you're asking me to do is to reel in a 2,000-pound whale, and I have a 5-pound line. I can't do it. So ultimately what I think we have to realize is that this is exactly the situation that Thomas Jefferson and others spoke of, that periodically the people have to come together and make these changes ourselves and not be passive and sheep-like waiting for the government to do it. And it's for this reason that over the 26 years I've been involved with this, this is by far the largest campaign I've been involved with. And we're going to need your help, every one of you, whether you can contribute $1 or $100,000 whether you can help network this to people on your Facebook page, on your social media, Twitter, whether you can help be a scout for us to find new top secret whistleblowers who are in these programs and who don't know that they're being managed illegally. It may be a father, it may be an uncle, it may be a husband or wife or a friend or a neighbor. They are out there. And what we are calling for is for everyone to come together and support this campaign. This campaign, initially, over the next 6 to 8 months, has 3 components. A full-length feature documentary film. So Sirius sort of introduced the scope of our work to the public. This is going to drill down in a granular way on these top secret illegal projects, the technologies that they are hiding, where they are, who's doing it, and how they're managed. And we will prove in this film that they are being managed illegally. What the purpose of that is that this film needs to be seen by hundreds of millions, if not 1 billion or 2 people around the world. And so we have put together a team commensurate with that task. But to fund this, right now we have no funding. To fund this, we're going to need the people to support it. And you can go to our crowdfunding page and see what our budget is, and also see that that is sort of the minimal budget. In addition to this full-length feature film, we're going to have a book that is a compendium to the film that will, of course, be able to have even more detailed information in it. World-renowned author Steve Alton, who's a New York Times best-selling author, also has a publishing company. And his publishing company and I have joined to put out this book that will be the definitive collection of evidence and information that anyone wanting the proof on this subject would be able to pick up and read. And it will be distributed in the mainstream distribution system for books. So that is also part of the crowdfunding campaign, is the production for that new book. And then the third component, which is being studied, I can't say that we have all the elements in place, but we have many of the elements in place, is a global concert and announcement event for the film, the book, and most importantly, for these new energy technologies. Now here I want to make a comment, and this is something incredibly important. Over the last month, I have met a number of people who have committed to not only putting on this concert event, but who also have access to some of the most renowned musicians, celebrities in the world. We hope we can organize this in the next few months with both the film and the book, but also a featured technology will be on the stage. Now this is something we are still running to ground. I do not want people to think we have it secured yet, but we're on very close to the acquisition of one or more of these systems, even if they are prototypes. And when I refer to these devices and technologies, I'm talking about a closed-loop free energy device, something that runs itself, the input is charged from the output, and it is running and powering things, putting out usable kilowattage of power, or wattage. We know these have existed for over 100 years, since the time of Tesla and before, and they have always been suppressed. We now know that there is a support team behind us who have the financial ability to make any reasonable offer to anyone in the world with such a device so that their needs can be taken care of financially, and we can open source this to the world. Let me be very clear on what I'm saying. We have the team in place to provide any means of support that is reasonable to any inventor or technology holder with such a zero-point or free energy device, even something like LENR, the low energy nuclear reaction cold fusion systems, zero-point quantum vacuum. We have these folks on board this project at this time, and they are committed fully to open sourcing this. Our agreement is explicit that the people who will work with us on this and are working with us have agreed to support the scientists, the inventors, and the technology holders in any way they need to financially, and strategically, my team will launch this technology and put it out to the public free of cost. The plans, all the intellectual property will be open source, no patenting, and no secrets, so that the world can quickly adopt the technology and pull us out of the precipice, away from the precipice that we are plunging down. And that is a biosphere collapse due to our use of fossil fuels and nuclear power and the increasing have and have not impoverishment of the world that is necessary, unfortunately, when you're using fossil fuel systems and central utilities. Half the world's population is in enormous poverty, and this is an artificial result of the energy system and the basic infrastructure our civilization is using. So as an act of compassion to our fellow humans, we know that this needs to be moved in a way that doesn't fall into all the pre-existing traps dealing with technology seizures, national security orders, patent seizures, corporate buyouts of technologies that then put them on a black shelf. All of that has to be overcome, and the only way to do it is to get these technologies, have them independently reproduced and proven, and then massively, and I mean massively, disclosed. So our goal is that this concert and technology announcement event would be a global celebration of us starting a new chapter in human civilization on Earth. A civilization that can endure for hundreds of thousands of years without destroying the biosphere and is worthy of going into space peacefully, and is capable then of having a just society, so we find a way to make peace on this planet. This is really the scope of the project, and over, I would say, the 26 years that I've been involved with this, I have never seen the sort of support and significant people who now get it. And I think this has reached a critical mass of consciousness where the people who understand the problems that we're in this planet now are really on board. And these are really substantial groups of folks, not just in the United States, but in the Middle East, Europe, Asia, India, throughout the world. Now, I've been carefully building this network for 25 years. And it is my hope that this is now going to be the fruition of those endeavors. But we really can't do it alone. We not only need your financial support for this campaign that ends illegal secrecy, we need your networking support, because the reason we survived the launch of the Disclosure Project is that there were millions of people watching. Anyone who tries to do something like this in obscurity, I was told in 1991 by a national security attorney, they are all dead men walking. However, if we come together in unity to do this together and bring millions of people, billions if we can, onto the platform, we can launch this technology and launch this information in a way that simply cannot be stopped. I was just looking through this, which is the briefing packet that was done, put together for President Obama, that was provided to John Podesta, who has talked so much about how he regrets, as in his long years in government, not being able to effect UFO disclosure. And as you know, Hillary Clinton and others have been talking about this on Jimmy Kimmel and others. What I'm quite sure of is that their inability to do anything about it is because of this nature and the structure of illegal secrecy. So that's what we have to do. We have to do this because the system here in Washington, and by the way, I'm speaking to you from Washington, D.C., and looking right now at the Washington Monument and the White House. This is something for us, we the people, to do. And I think that if we wait for the government to do it, we'll all be dead. I'll be 100 years old before it'll happen. And I think if the people lead, however, the leaders will then follow. So we have to be the leadership effort. And that's what every person listening to this has to understand. I want to empower each of you to view yourselves as citizens of the earth, but also citizens of the cosmos. And that it is our charge, it is our challenge, it's our task to begin a new civilization on this planet. that can go forward into space in peace and using free energy and have a just civilization on Earth where we eliminate once and for all environmental destruction and punishing poverty, which is now so prevalent around the world. Only then are we worthy to be welcomed into the neighborhood of interplanetary and interstellar civilizations. So this is the great challenge of our time. And you cannot have peace in this world when you're living in a system that is so unjust that it guarantees half the world is in horrible poverty. And for those of us who aren't in horrible poverty, our very existence is cannibalizing Mother Earth and destroying her. This is no way for a people to live. So it's our time to do the right thing. This is the time. There's no generation to pass this on to. 100 years ago, there were cans kicked down the road. 50 years ago, on the UFO and ET issue, cans were kicked down the road. This is 2016. We don't have another 100 years. Neither the geopolitical situation nor the environmental situation can withstand another 100 years of inaction, passivity, and cowardice. So we have to find the courage to do this somehow. And I think if we all work together, we can do it. It's nothing I can do by myself. It's nothing any one person can do. But if we all come together and do it, it absolutely can be done. And it can be done very quickly. And what I've been feeling, what I've been sensing, the elements are all coming together very quickly. There has been a building like this, and now it's gone straight up in terms of the people, institutions, what have you, that are involved in the project we've been working on for 25 years. And I'm hopeful, incredibly hopeful, that this can be done over the next coming months and couple of years. So we're not talking about an event, 20 years down the road. We're talking about an event in the coming months and year or two. And I hope that all of you will join us. You will help us with the crowdfunding at the site that's on the screen. I hope you can help us with finding the evidence and witnesses, and that you'll keep what we're doing in your thoughts and prayers as we start on this enormous undertaking, and doing this as we think about our children and our grandchildren and those who come to this planet after us. I always say that we really are starting a civilizational change that's a once in every few thousand year change. And that there are thousands of generations in that great waiting room in the cosmic sky, waiting to come to Earth and waiting for us to get it right. Thank you.